Skyblivion is a mod for Skyrim that aims to bring back the whole game of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion into the game engine of Skyrim. This raises an important topic for debate that we will be covering in this video. That topic is the impact of Oblivion on us, the audience, and what it meant to play that amazing game. Other topics will also be mentioned, ranging from if it really is a good idea to bring this game back or to let it rest after so long. And yes, it does sound rather pretentious now that I say it out loud, but I think it's rather important now that Skyblivion is closer to being a finished product now, more than ever. Big shout out to Rebelzize, who recently, at the time of recording, just released their third dev diary video, which is extremely well made and put together, and is 100% worth checking out if you have the time. The link to that will be the first link in the description, along with the Rebelzize YouTube channel, the Skyblivion website, and their first teaser trailer. Enough rambling though, let's continue on to this video. Oblivion came out on the 20th of March 2006. It's been over 15 years since Oblivion's initial release, yet this masterpiece of a game is still having content made on it, an active player base, and a high level of people coming back to play it every year for the sake of nostalgia. Now, its relevance today is seen as the start of Bethesda's downward spiral into making the games more friendly to casual players. Oblivion did a lot of things right considering it is an RPG, but a lot of things were dumbed down from the previous game Morrowind, those being things like quest markers, a power fantasy, and a strange style of graphics. Now, Oblivion did so many things right, like having every single NPC being voiced and having a vast open world to explore with little to no barriers at all. Oblivion also had one of the most captivating intros in gaming history, waking up in a cell only to find out that the Emperor himself has a special job for you. You are, in Oblivion, a random prisoner who becomes a hero of Kvatch and a champion of Cyrodiil. You witness the fall of a Septim dynasty and the Imperial Empire. This is why Oblivion had such a massive impact on its audience, and the problem with it today is almost everything is majorly outdated. The graphics are something that for the time was average and wasn't anything groundbreaking. The characters looked pretty strange back in the day, and now they look even weirder. The interactions for NPCs was astonishing to see unfold in 2006, and now is the first video you see in a Gaming Funny Moments compilation. A lot of the stuff in Oblivion has aged more like fine milk than anything else. So, the relevance of Skyblivion is that it fixes most of Oblivion's downsides. It improves the graphics tremendously, enhances the gameplay mechanics to the point of a modern game, and is going to have none of the cringe-worthy NPC interactions. This is going to bring Oblivion back into the modern eye and give us a fair evaluation of its character. I've already made a video on Skyblivion that is approaching a year old now, and what I covered there was more the history of the development and when it was most likely to be released. But as you guys can probably tell, the point of this video is to start an open discussion on why we loved Oblivion despite its weaknesses, so we can have a better image for what we want for Skyblivion. So the comments section is totally open to any comments about Oblivion, Skyblivion, Skyrim, or whatever you want to discuss. This, in my opinion, is the most important thing when it comes to what the fans want for a game. A united and clear idea for the future, and what we want as fans will help the devs paint a path for their end goal. Oblivion meant a lot to me, like it did to many others. Many people see it as a beacon of light. After all, it is the heart of the Empire. Its warm, cozy environment with the sunlight beaming down on the Gold Coast and the serene tranquility of the Imperial City. To many people, Oblivion was what the White Gold Tower metaphorically represents. A safe place of order and convenience, a place where you could get lost for hundreds of hours pouring your heart and soul into many different characters. The game is special to a lot of people and has a very unique place in the Elder Scrolls. It quite literally is different to every RPG ever. I don't believe there has been an RPG to ever capture the feeling that I got when I first played Oblivion. Skyblivion is simply the reincarnation of this feeling. When I watched the trailer for the first time, I quite literally got goosebumps and felt the same tranquility that I first had when playing Oblivion years ago. Oblivion is a game that is so accomplished and celebrated that when the day comes that Skyblivion releases, I honestly don't know what to expect. YouTube will be filled with Let's Plays both of Skyblivion and Oblivion. Everyone will have their fun and share these amazing experiences once again. This game to me, and so many others, wasn't just a game. It was so much more than that, and really made me feel different about Skyrim. Both Skyrim and Oblivion are great games in their specific ways, but Skyrim lacked something that Oblivion had. Now don't get me wrong, Skyrim is my favourite game of all time, but I can also admire Oblivion's accomplishments, especially for a game made in 2006. Of course Oblivion had those moments that broke the immersion, like the often goofy and laughable NPC dialogue.
Goodbye.
How goes it?
Been better, how about you?
I've been better.
Really? What a shame. I say now.
But I want to take a look at a quest that I feel best describes Oblivion perfectly, and in turn displays what Skyblivion is aiming to achieve. Have you guys heard of a little town? A small town. A town where nothing ever goes wrong. If you hail from this town, you'll be treated fine. But if you're an outsider, they will treat you with contempt. Trade happens, of course. This town would not have much to eat if it weren't for trade. What exactly happened to the farms again? Oh yes, that's right. They were burnt to the ground. Now why did this happen? Did the town do something wrong? In their eyes, it was a treachery of some outsiders that caused this. But in my eyes, I call it perfectly fine. Because this town is a secret, a dark secret. And I forgot to tell you the town's name. It goes by the name of Hackdirt. Now the quest I'm talking about is A Shadow over Hackdirt, an Easter egg to one of H.P. Lovecraft's very famous books, A Shadow over Innsmouth. Now this quest can be summed up rather easily. A young girl goes missing from the town of Coral. Her mother begs for you to find her. You're told she was going to Hackdirt, and that's where you will find her. Once you arrive, the townspeople are on edge, actively showing the disdain for you and telling you to leave. Ask around and you'll encounter a man who tells you they plan to sacrifice this girl to the Deep Ones. Other things can be found to lead you to the conclusion that the girl is in the town even after the townspeople said they haven't seen her. You can find her horse, or find the innkeep caught up in a lie, save the girl from the town, and kill her captors later that night. You then see a daughter and mother reunited with your help, and they go on to live happily ever after. The reason why I brought this quest up is Oblivion always had something going on behind the scene during its quests. That was the framework of a game. You had to think before doing a quest. During the Dark Brotherhood you had to think. During the Thieves Guild you had to think. Even during the main quest you had to think. Is something else at play? Could I do this in a different way? That's why I made us look at this quest. I could have chosen almost any other quest, and we would have come to the same conclusion. Oblivion is special because of the subtlety of important details. Very small things could lead to realizations that change the way you see the game. Small twists in quests could be foreseen if you looked hard enough in the beginning. Basically, if you look hard enough, there will be a strong payout for you at the end. And that is Oblivion's uniqueness. That is what made it mean so incredibly much to me and many others. Oblivion needs this essential thing to be Oblivion. Now, can Skyblivion capture this very important game design philosophy? Well, only time will tell to see if they do right by the quests, if they include these details and make sure to stay true to Oblivion's design. Now, Skyblivion will revive this game. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Now, I'm not opposing the release, mind you. I'm very excited for this mod to finally come out, but I do want to take some time to think about what this would mean for the Elder Scrolls community. Now, in order to do this, we have to take a look at other beloved reboots and see how they turned out. Now, a great example is Doom. Now, Doom Reboot in 2016 made headlines and revived an entire genre, really bringing the Doomslayer into the modern day. Now, most of the people who grew up playing Skyrim have most likely not played Oblivion. So, Skyblivion is essentially a reboot of a forgotten time. It will have mostly everything Oblivion has, like the quests, locations, and most likely new content as well, but it will all be in graphics, mechanics, and gameplay that even outmatch that of Skyrim. So people that weren't comfortable playing Oblivion before, with its daunting UI and old school style, can enjoy this newer version. Now, like I said before, is this a good idea? And my opinion is gonna have to be a positive one, because I think it 100% should be released. We shouldn't gatekeep this amazing game. We should try spreading news of it everywhere, so that everyone can experience how truly great Oblivion can be. To finalise my thoughts on the subject, all I have to say is that Oblivion has given me so many fond memories that I will take with me forever, and I can't wait to experience those memories once again, but in a whole different view. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like and remember to subscribe. See you all in the next video.